preschoolers, I wanted to share with you today a book that we didn't get a chance to read at preschool before the year ended. And it's called Mouse Count by Ellen Stoll Walsh. And maybe these mice look familiar, the drawing looks familiar from another book that we did get to read at preschool. Do you remember it? It's called Mouse Paint. Remember I had this giant book when we were talking about colors and color mixing? So I thought before we read Mouse Count and talked about numbers, we could read again Mouse Paint, because it was such a fun one to read together. And if you remember in the story, there are 3 white mice. We'll see what kind of mischief they get into. Ooh, these big books are kind of tricky to read. Once there were 3 white mice on a white piece of paper. The cat couldn't find them. They're hidden on the paper. Whew. One day, while the cat was asleep, the mice saw 3 jars of paint. 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 blue. 1, 2, 3. They thought it was mouse paint, so they climbed right in. Then 1 was red, 1 was yellow, and 1 was blue. If you remember, we can switch out our white mice for our yellow mouse and our red mouse. Stand on the table, and our blue mouse. They're covered in paint. Okay, let's see what happens next. They dripped puddles of paint on the paper. The puddles looked like fun. The red mouse stepped into a yellow puddle and did a little dance. His red feet stirred the yellow paint until, do you remember what happened? When our red mouse, I'll get my yellow puddle, he danced around and stirred the paint until what happened? Oh, look at his feet. They turn what color? Look, he cried. Red feet in a yellow puddle make orange. I am struggling with my book today. It's so big. The yellow mouse hopped into a blue puddle. His feet mixed and stirred and mixed until, oh, I've got his blue puddle that his little footprints are all in. And he did a dance. Do you remember what blue and yellow make? Said the red mouse and the blue mouse. Yellow feet in a blue puddle make green. Then the blue mouse jumped into a red puddle. He splashed and mixed and danced until purple, they all shouted. You can see his feet mixed to make purple. Blue feet in a red puddle make purple. But the paint on their fur got sticky and stiff. So they washed themselves down to a nice soft white. We'll take them up. And they got all clean again. They're a beautiful, nice soft white again. What does the mat say that they're hiding under? We can actually sound this out. We know that C, or clever cat, says k, k. Annie Apple says ah. And talking Tess says t, 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 k, at. Cat. I wonder if the cat is coming back. And they painted on the paper instead. They painted 1 part red, and 1 part yellow, and 1 part blue. They mixed red and yellow to paint an orange part, yellow and blue to paint a green part, and blue and red to paint a purple part. But they left some white because of the cat. Why would they want to leave it white, do you remember? Use it to hide their bodies on from the cat. I enjoyed that one, and I had our cards here that we had here at school. We had our red, yellow, and blue. And we know that red and yellow make orange. Blue and yellow make green. And red and blue make purple. I miss having you preschoolers here to mix your paints and see what colors we can make. And remember, we were adding white and we could make lighter colors, like our blue and white made light blue, and our blue and red made a light red, which is we call pink. It's a pink color, right? So maybe if you have some paint at home, you could do some color mixing. So right now, we'll find some mice again in Mouse Count. Okay, this is our new mouse book by Ellen Stoll Walsh called Mouse Count. And we're actually going to read it twice. The first time we'll just read the story, and then the second time I have some special things we'll use as we read it. Mouse Count. One fine day, some mice played in the meadow. They were careful to watch for snakes. But when the mice got sleepy, they forgot about snakes and they all took naps. While they slept, a hungry snake went looking for dinner. On his way, he found a nice big jar. "Ooh, I will fill this jar with dinner," he said. It wasn't long before he found 3 mice, little, warm, and tasty, fast asleep. 1, 2, 3. "First I will count them, and then I will eat them up," said the snake. "Mouse count. 1, 2, 3. He dropped them into the jar, but he was very hungry, and 3 mice were not enough. Soon he found 4 more mice, little, warm, and tasty, fast asleep, and he counted them. So he had 1, 2, 3. Now he's adding 4, 5, 6, 7. But the snake was very, very hungry, and 7 mice were not enough. At last he found 3 more mice, little, warm, and tasty, fast asleep, and he counted them. So remember, he has 7 in his jar. 8, 9, 10. 10 mice are enough. "Now I'm going to eat you up, little, warm, and tasty," said the snake. We can see they're awake in the jar now. "Wait," said one of the mice, "the jar isn't full yet. And look at the big mouse over there." The snake was very greedy. He hurried off to get the big mouse. Greedy means he wants more and more. He wants maybe even more than he deserves. And while he was gone, the mice rocked the jar one way and another way until it went over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The little mice uncounted themselves and ran home. The snake reached the big mouse, but it was only a cold, hard rock. And when he got back, the jar was empty. Oh, and that's the end. You can see the mouse happy on his rock. So I thought we would read it again. I have my table here. Ooh, with some extra special things. For our story, we have our snake and our our jar. Our rock, we'll need that in the story later. And let's check how many mice we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's important when we have a lot of something that we touch each thing or point to it as we count so that our number is right. Sometimes when we see a big group of stuff, we want to say, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. But unless we're actually counting each one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 2 in my hand. 9, 10. So when we do counting of big numbers, we really want to make sure we're touching or pointing to each thing. Okay, we'll use our little friends. What do we start with at the beginning of the story? The mice, right? Is the snake at the beginning of the story? We don't see him yet, do we? They're in the meadow, so maybe the rock is there, but we'll move the jar away. We have our 10 mice. One day, some mice played in the meadow. They were careful to watch for snakes. But when the mice got sleepy, they forgot about snakes, and they all took naps. Oh, maybe some are lying like this, or all cuddled up. These mice are loud when they snore. While they slept, a hungry snake went looking for dinner. Ooh, and on his way, he found a nice big jar. I don't know what a jar is doing in the meadow. Maybe somebody littered their garbage there. I will fill this jar with dinner, he said. It wasn't long before he found 3 little mice, warm and tasty and fast asleep. So let's find a pile that has 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 in that one. 1, 2, 3. He found 3 mice. First I will count them and then I will eat them up, said the mouse. Mouse, count. 1. They seem to wake up when he grabs them, huh? 2, 3. He dropped them into the jar, but he was very hungry and 3 mice were not enough. Soon he found 4 more mice, little, warm, and tasty, and fast asleep. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so he came to this pile of mice, didn't he? And he counted them. 4. So we had 1, 2, 3. Now 4, 5, 6, 7. But the snake was very, very hungry, and 7 mice were not enough. At last he found 3 more mice. Ooh, curls around them. And he counted them. Do you remember how many were in the jar? We had 3 plus 4. There's 7 in the jar. 8. Wink. 9. Wink. 10 mice are enough. Now I am going to eat you up, little warm and tasty, said the snake. Wait, said one of the mice. The jar isn't full yet. And look at that big mouse way over there. So maybe they were pretty far away from the rock. So from a far distance, it just looked like a curled up brown mouse. The snake was very greedy. He hurried off to get the big mouse. And while he was gone, the mice rocked the jar one way and another way until over it went. 10, 9, 8, 7, whoa, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The little mice uncounted themselves and ran home. The snake reached the big mouse, but it was only a cold, hard rock. And when he got back to the jar, it was empty. There was 0 mice in it. Oh. And it ends with one of our mice dancing on the rock. Maybe he said, "Thank you, rock, you saved us." So, when we count things, when we count little objects, it really helps us with doing math, learning our numbers, which is something that's important as we get older and we have to solve problems and make dinner and figure out how many we need of something. So if you have lots of little things at home, maybe little toys or marbles or M&Ms, you can work on counting with Mom and Dad. And I had a little dice, I thought. Don't know where it went. Well, I was gonna say you can make your own number dice if you have a block at home like this. And you can tape little pieces of paper with numbers on them. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can, when you have a block, you can put numbers up to 6 on it. And then you can practice by rolling your dice, and then whatever number it lands on. Oh, it came flying out of the sky. This is my little one. It has the numbers on it. So I can roll it. Oh, I rolled a 2. So then you can see if you can count out 2. 1, 2. Roll it again. I rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you want to do some really big counting, you can even take some of the ones you rolled and another group you rolled, and you can add them together and see how many you have. So we had 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have 5. So if you want to use a block and paper and tape, you can even make your own little number die. And hopefully we'll do some more number books this week. I'll add up some more videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed reading with the mice today.